How many people know who Roger Bannister is?
Broke the 4-minute mile.
Hey, man. Hey, man. Roger Bannister. Premise equals practice. This is one of the most interesting, I mean, there's tons of them, but from my perspective, interesting stories in a real life story of how premise equals practice, right? So 1940, roughly, somebody runs a mile in 4 minutes and 1 second. Throughout history up to this point, scientists are looking at the body, biologists, experts saying, it's impossible for a human body.
Huh? His own professor.
His own professor?
Yeah.
So I'm learning stuff now about this. It's impossible. The human body cannot run a mile under 4 minutes. 1940, somebody does it in 4 minutes and 1 second. 14 years, people continued to say it's impossible. 14 years, somebody couldn't shave 1 second off the mile. So what happens? Roger Bannister comes along and says, you know what? I think it is possible, and I think I'm going to do it. 1954, on a relatively unknown course, a rainy day with a little bit of wind, certainly not ideal running conditions, Roger Bannister breaks the 4-minute mile. But I thought it was impossible. And literally like that, all of a sudden, the mind shift shifts, right? People are going back and reviewing it. Is it possible? Is he a freak of nature? Can anybody? What, within a few months, the next person breaks the 4-minute mile. Holy crap. 2 people. Within the next year, dozens of people are now breaking the 4-minute mile. And what happened? Really nothing other than somebody proved it was possible. And now hundreds of people every year run the mile under 4 minutes. High school kids aren't even old enough to join the military, are running the mile under 4 minutes. Premise equals practice. If you go out and you think it's impossible to break the 4-minute mile, then you're training to 4 minutes and 1 second. All of a sudden it becomes possible, and now everybody's training to break that 4-minute mile. Premise equals practice. And here's this just insane thought, vicious thought loop that people get stuck into. The way you think. If you're thinking small, you do small. And if you do small, then you get small results. And if you get small results, it reinforces your small thinking. And as you think small, you continue to just do small, right? And the more you do small, the more you get small. And the more you get small, the more you continue to think small. And that's why just plugging yourself into a community that all of a sudden goes, hey, I know you're running the mile at 4:01. Next year you're going to do it 3:59. Or into a community like Alan Newman that just goes, this one house is worth your entire neighborhood. And the problem isn't that it's too much. The problem is that you can't afford it. But other people can. Just shifts that thinking. So, one of the questions that Andrew asked us, Ken and I, when we started working with him is, do you think you have a better chance of accomplishing your goals if you just believe everything I tell you is true and you act on that? That's what you believe is possible? Or do you think you have a better chance of accomplishing your goals if you just kind of go along and you doubt it the whole time? And that's really what it boils down to, and that was his point to us, is that commitment is literally everything. And once you make that decision to be committed to it, that's when you start the process of changing the way you're thinking. Awesome book. Justin, did you end up reading this, Relentless?
Haven't yet.
It's a great book. If anybody hasn't read it, it's by Tim Grover, who was initially the physical coach to Michael Jordan, and then very quickly realized that what was way more valuable that he was doing was the mental coaching to Michael Jordan. This is when he first joined the Bulls. And then he went on to work with Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, Kevin Durant, and a lot of the big NBA players. And he wrote this book called Relentless, and this basically is his position is if you truly want to make a transformation, then you just need to commit to it and just go wild. Just have such a relentless commitment to those goals and to accomplishing that that nothing's going to stop you. It's like Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, right? Ashley, you knew I had to bring it up. Tom Brady's, she's from Connecticut. I'm from San Diego, so I'm a Chargers fan, but we lost our team. My fiance's from Maine. I've got a little pressure right now to, get rid of my Charger slippers and get in some Patriots. But I mean, what the heck?
The Buccaneers are accepting fan applications.
I will consider that. But that's a phenomenal example. That Super Bowl was a phenomenal example of a relentless mindset. A relentless mindset. And I think sports works very well for analogies. But I really like the analogies. I like sports because you see the mindset unfold on a public stage in front of you. And I think business has a lot of that. It just doesn't have the same public stage. But we have some of that same drama and that same impact of mindset. And I love the Facebook group, the community. And I love posting messages when I get an email or a text message from somebody who's saying, just had a great first relationship meeting, just had a great case, all of this good stuff. We get excited for them. But trust me, because I know the advisors and I'm working with them behind the scenes of those big cases that I showed earlier is the same relentless commitment to their career that a professional athlete has to their career.
That's good.
It's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. So, if you wrestle with the importance of really making that same commitment to a career because we aren't on TV, most of us don't have fans yelling our names. Although you're getting some nice emails these days.
Anton, can you go back? I think Carlos is going to take a picture of that book. Yeah, it was. Thank you.
You're welcome. If you wrestle at all with that idea of really does it even matter? I mean, why do I even want that level of commitment? It's not about the dollars for us. It's not at all. And I don't think it should be for the majority of advisors either. It's about the satisfaction of knowing that we've chosen a career and we've chosen an industry where we have an ability to help people with one of the things that causes so much stress in life. With individuals, right? I mean, the charts come out, and what's one of the leading reasons for divorce? Financial anxiety, money, financial decisions. Businesses, how many new businesses fail? Staggering numbers. Why? Because a lot of bad decisions, lack of capital, lack of advising. And accountants. If you don't think accountants need our help, out of all of the small businesses, I think accountants might need some of our help the most.